smokescreen. They say it's only weed, that at least you're not smoking crack. But when you smoke away your youth, you ain't never gonna get it back. And if you're looking for a plague, then this one's bubonic. There's far too many of our youth who are laid back smoking chronic. They tell me that they're bored, there ain't nothing they can do. And when your mind is clouded by smoke, I guess it's hard to see something new. It's a drug that makes you lazy, so it's a lazy mind that it will make. They think it endows them with so much creativity, but it's their creativity that it will take. But they're too laid back to get the message, or if they did, they'd just forget. Because weed affects your memory, so they'll never know what they regret. After a while, the only thing of interest is the experience of getting high. And if you ask them what got them started, they no longer remember why. But they are well aware today that it's better being stoned. But the one thing they don't realize is they are the one who's being owned. Because after a while you gotta smoke it, because being straight just feels like shit. And you can't make it through another day without smoking just a little bit. So now the herb is smoking you, you're no longer smoking it. You're like a fire that no longer burns unless the weed is stoking it. You think weed brings out the best in you, but the best in you has been sedated. And the creativity you think you have high is sadly overrated. You're just another pothead, too mentally slow to bother with. Certainly no woman wants you to be the one to be a father with. And you can look at me and say, I don't get the weed connection. But BC Bud's been around long enough for me to have followed its direction. So I know where it leads, just down another dead-end street. It's the only thing you're smoking is the taste of your defeat. And you can claim it's a miracle drug because people take it for their illness. But it doesn't matter what you give to someone who's facing a death stillness. I know a guy who wrote 32 songs all about smoking dope. And I'm left having to ask myself, just who is the dope? Because that's just pure pathetic if that's the only thing you have to say. But I guess if you smoke enough dope, that's the bed in which you'll lay. And the big thing about weed is it will hold on to you for years. You'll go around and round going nowhere, because that's the direction that it steers. And you'll be too numb to that reality to ever figure out why your life is going nowhere and what that is all about. You say pot makes you feel better, but your wounds will never heal. The only way they'll heal is if you allow yourself to feel. If you're gonna permanently anesthetize yourself, then part of you is dead. The only thing you're left with are the illusions in your head. And you'll never get to know yourself, so you'll always be a stranger. And there's no use for me to be telling you this, because you're too blind to see the danger. So here's to all the potheads, their true potential never known, their future exhaled in a puff of smoke, their life is not their own. You hope one day they'll wake up, but that might never happen. They may forever be sitting there, smoking dope and laughing. But I guess the weed is helpful, because it medicates the cost of living in a cloud of smoke and forever being lost. It's just a shame from where I sit to see someone bound by invisible chains, too blinded by the stone to realize the drug is leaving stains, too numbed out from the high so that their life has lost its edge, having been conned by all the hype, so the life is sitting on a ledge, not able to see the fall until they'll free fall into the ground, not able to capture their youth until their adulthood comes around. By then it's far too late, they spent their life's best years, and they wonder why they've been left behind by those that were their peers. And still they'll never get it, they'll just light another joint, and no matter how many times you tell them, they'll never get the point. But still I choose to write this in the hope that someone rises from the smoke and thinks about their future before they take another toke.